So looking at the external anatomy of a shark, the overall feeling of it is like sandpaper, so it doesn't have that like slick feeling normally like a fish has. There are 5 different sets of fins. So right here is the pectoral fins. The pelvic fins are going to be on the back, like lower side of the shark. The dorsal fins are on the first one is on the top, and then the posterior dorsal fin is in the back of the shark, and the tail fin is all the way at the end. The jaws help with the shark. They're right here because the shark's mouth opening right here is on the bottom side of it, so it makes it a little easier for it to catch food. The external gills are right here. They're a little hard to see, but those basically just help getting more water into the sharks, moving it around to get more air. The nostrils are right here on the top side. They're really hard to see, but they connect to the inner side of the mouth so that they can use it for scent. And then the lateral line goes down both sides of the shark, right here and here, and they detect pressure from other animals around them in the ocean so that they can catch their prey. And then the cloaca is all the way at the bottom. It's covered by these 2 little fins, and those are the main parts to pretty much figure out if it's a male or female. That's the easiest way. When looking at the internal anatomy of a shark, the first thing that you'll notice is the large liver that pops out right when you open them up. This is a 3-lobe liver, and it holds a lot of oil and grease in it because of the bile. And the liver comes in 3 lobes, right here, here, and here. The 2 sides are the biggest, and then right in the middle it gets smaller, and this attaches to the gallbladder. And down from the gallbladder, it takes you to the gallbladder duct, which is basically like a bile duct. Going down the shark, right up here is the esophagus. It's really hard to see. And then going down is the very large stomach, and this turns into like a J shape, and there's a piece that connects it, and that connects the stomach to the small intestine, and then from the small intestine to the colon and the very back of the shark. And then right on the top side, kind of on the side on this one, is the pancreas of the shark. And then moving downwards, right here is the spleen. And then there's this very strange finger-like structure at the end of the shark. And this is called the rectal gland. And this basically, when sharks eat, they consume large portions of salt because they're in salt water, and so they need something to help filter this out of their bodies, and that's basically what the rectal gland does for them. At the very beginning of the shark, towards the head, is these little rib-like structures, and those are the gills of the shark. And then if you move up a little bit, that circular shape right there with the tube attached to it, that's the heart. In this shark, there are no reproductive organs that are visible to the eye to me, but at the end of the shark right here, you can see that there are these 2 little, like, on the external anatomy of the frog, there are going to be 3 things that stick out the most on the outside, which are the basics: eyes, the nostrils, and then the mouth. And another thing that you'll see is the temporal membrane, and this receives the sound for the frog, for the prey, and stuff like that. Looking all the way into the back of the mouth, you will see the esophagus, and then from there, if you feel along the inside of the mouth, you can feel the maxillary teeth, and then further in on the upper jaw, there are the vomerine teeth, which are harder to feel. I could not feel them when I was dissecting the frog. And then the Eustachian tubes, those are at the top of the mouth towards the back opening, and those open up the ears to allow for hearing. And then the glottis is at the forward part of the tongue at the beginning, and this is to open the mouth up into the lungs for breathing. In the tongue for frogs, it's not normally like a human's where it just sticks out straight. It comes from the back, and that's where it detaches from the mouth. So there's a little attachment at the beginning, and that's why you can't pull it out normally like a regular tongue. And then also the nostrils of the frog are at the top, and they go all the way through, so that promotes the smell. So on the internal anatomy of a frog, the first thing at the very top of the frog is going to be the heart, and this is just a red sac at the top, and going down there's a very deep-bladed raisin-like looking ball, and that is the gallbladder. It sits right on top of the two livers, or the three livers. It's a three-lobe liver in a frog. And then going down, the small intestine runs along, and the pancreas is right on the bottom. These help with digestion. And then from the small intestine, the stomach is right at the bottom, and that leads to the colon at the end of the frog. Right when a frog is opened up for a dissection, it is the outside skin layer, and then it is the muscle layer, and that looks like a human's abdomen area. And then on the inside is fat bodies, and these fat bodies are little finger-like looking things that are just fat, and they basically tell you the condition of the animal before it died. On the inside, you can tell very clearly if the animal has ovaries. There should be a bunch of little black dots around, but if it doesn't, then the testes will be on the side, right on the inside. They're very small. They're very, very hard to see. And then the lungs are right here on both sides. The large intestine runs along the spleen right here next to the oviducts, and then the mesentery is right next to the spleen.